Hype. Hype can be good, but it's mostly bad, I think. Because if you have a product that's really hyped, you have really high expectations for it. And if it falls anything short of those really high expectations, you're probably disappointed. And then if it meets those expectations, you're probably only satisfied. If, on the other hand, it ends up exceeding those expectations, then you feel like you've got something special. And I think that's where this product lives. There was a whole lot of hype around this particular running shoe. From my perspective, I've been anticipating its release for many months. And so when I finally got my pair and laced up, I was really excited to see how it performed. And it definitely met my expectations and exceeded them by a little bit. We've still got a little bit to go through testing the shoe to see just how it performs, but it's something that I'm already in love with. That shoe that we're going to be talking about today is the Hoka Mach 4. If you get anything out of the video today, please remember to hit the like button, comment down below if you've got anything to say, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. If you do know anyone that might dig the content, please feel free to spread the word. I am very new to YouTube, but I am hoping to be here for the long haul. Also, I've got an Instagram page. Go over there and check it out. Give us a follow. It's 3 kicks a day, and I'm usually posting content daily. So this isn't my first time running in a Hoka One Mach shoe. The last Hoka shoe that I ran in by the Mach designation was the Mach 2. And it is a very different running shoe than the model we have today, which is the 4. I didn't love this shoe. It was a really firm ride. There were some good parts to it though, like the upper was comfortable and breathable, fit was really nice, but with the midsole being so firm, I felt like it had a really specific set of parameters that you needed to fit into if you wanted to enjoy your run. And I found that if it wasn't a faster paced run, it was really unenjoyable to run in. It was not forgiving at any of those moderate to slower paces. And so unless I was running fast, I really wouldn't reach for this shoe. I think I got to about 70 Ks in this, and that's a big reason why I never opted to try out the Mach 3. From all the reports, the Mach 3 looked to be very similar to what the Mach 2 offered, and it was just something that wasn't appealing to me at the time, nor is it really appealing to me today, especially considering where my own fitness levels are at and the type of runs that I enjoy to do. Then the Mach 4 arrives. What the Mach 4 is something totally different to what the Mach 2 was. It is still built on the same DNA that the Mach line is known for, I guess, and that is to be a predominantly speed-based shoe, but it's got a completely redesigned cushioning system that makes it more versatile and accessible to more people. You don't have to be only a fast runner to enjoy the Mach 4. In any case, what we'll do is we'll break down each of the components, and I'll be able to give my first impressions of how I think it went on my first run. But before we do that, I want to get to what the shoe is and what it isn't, starting with what it is. And what it is a neutral running shoe equipped with a ProFly midsole. There's actually 2 steps to this midsole that we'll talk about in a bit more detail, but what your foot makes contact with is the ProFly midsole. There is 35mm of stack height in the heel, 30mm in the forefoot, giving us a 5mm drop. We've got an engineered mesh upper. It fits true to size and really well at that. And it comes in at 8 ounces or 227 grams for a US men's size 9. Whew. Now to what it isn't. I've really got nothing to talk about here. I'm stumped. I don't know what it isn't yet. It is going to come down to the next few runs, and we'll get a bit more of an idea of what it can't do. But based off of my first run, I really think that we might have a runner that can genuinely fit almost any sort of run type that the average runner would do. So anyway, we'll take a look at the shoe now, and we'll start with the outsole. And this is a rubberized EVA outsole. And so when I spoke earlier about the midsole having 2 components that made it up, you've got this rubberized EVA midsole, which you can see is this white section, I guess, of the midsole. It is a firmer cushioning system that is meant to provide number one, a more responsive sort of feel or level of propulsion to the runner, but it also has this rubberized system thingy. It's a rubberized outsole, right? So it's a rubberized EVA outsole, and so you don't actually have any of that traditional rubber that you would typically see on an outsole of a runner, but there is more durability that's built into this than having some sort of exposed foam, for example. And from a traction perspective, no complaints. From a durability perspective, I've got no idea. I guess we'll see how we go with the next review and how it's holding up there. But I've got to say that generally my runs these days are going to be in relatively damp conditions because we're starting to get a lot more rain. And on my run the other morning, it was damp and traction was not an issue, so that's great. Moving up and talking about the ProFly midsole more specifically, if we think about that rubberized EVA midsole as being something that is durable, lightweight, but also gives a good level of propulsion once you sort of hit and take off from the ground, the ProFly really adds the responsiveness and softness that you would want underfoot, and it does that incredibly well. It was really happy to pick up the pace, and you did not feel penalized for dropping back at all. One thing I would be interested in seeing is how this holds up over longer distances, say 15 to 20k bracket, and I think that will be really interesting. So hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be able to log one of those runs, and as part of the progressive review we'll be able to talk about more specifically how the midsole responds in that situation and how it holds up from a comfort perspective. But I've got to say, on my run the other day, which was just shy of 9 kilometers, this was beautiful. There was no issues with hot spots. It did not feel uncomfortable. Into the upper, and what we've got is an engineered mesh that is gorgeous, feels great on foot, is super breathable, and really doesn't have much else going on, which is what I personally like. I don't think you need all of that overlays and 3D printed graphics and sort of all this stuff happening all the time. This is a really nice simple construction with some overlays that wrap around the midfoot and heel area, just giving a little bit of extra structure in at the back. And by a little bit I actually mean a fair bit. Like, there isn't much movement back in that heel, as you can see. The tongue itself is, I'd like to say lightly padded, but it's almost no padding at all, and that presents no issues. Really comfortable on foot and keeps to the brand of what the Mach is all about, trying to keep the weight down as much as possible. It is gusseted as well, so there was no movements on foot while I was running, and the lacing and lockdown really gave me no issues either. The heel area and the collar is nicely padded, not overdone. It has got a really extended heel flare, I guess. This is something that was huge in running shoes last year. I think we saw nearly every brand come out with their iteration of a heel flare. This is quite significant, but what I really liked about this heel design is the way that the back of the foot really was secure in the shoe itself. And there really isn't much else to say. It is a simple upper. It is an upper that works and does exactly what it's supposed to do, giving you breathability and comfort in a really good looking package. The Mach 4 has the potential to be a genuine all-rounder. It is light, it is soft and responsive. It can run a variety of different paces. But obviously I do need to take it on a lot more runs to try and understand how it holds up at those longer distances. I don't think there is anything that this shoe couldn't do under 10Ks. And from my first run, I think this could easily handle a half marathon distance. I'm really excited to chuck this in the rotation and see how it goes over the next few weeks. I will be back with my in-depth thoughts on the Mach 4. But I would be interested in your thoughts if you have picked up the Mach 4 and if you're loving it, or if you've picked it up and it really isn't what you thought it would be and are probably not enjoying it. In any case, that's it for now. Until next time, laters.